Scuba diving and Amazon. Two words that should never be in the same sentence, especially when it comes to products that are life safety equipment. So your regulator, your cylinders, your BCs, those should be purchased in store at a local retail center where you can get personal quality equipment and get the personal advice from, say, a lead instructor. However, what about other devices such as flashlights or even camera systems? Can you get a good quality camera system at a budget cost? Well, in today's video, we're going to find out or try to answer that question with the Ice Fox UHD 4K action camera. This camera was sent to us by Ice Fox, and they've asked us to not only review it, but to put it through the ringer to see if it holds up to the hype that it claims on the box. What's up, guys? It's Brian again from Lake Kicker Scuba and Marine. If you are new to our channel, do me a huge favor. Hit this little subscribe button right here and ding that little bell as well. That way you guys are going to be notified every time we upload new content. Now, today's video is a sponsored video. I do want to put this disclaimer out there. We actually got a camera sent to us by Ice Fox here. This is the Ice Fox UHD 4K action camera. This is an Amazon special, if you will, but it is sponsored. No, they did not pay us to make this video, but they did send us this camera free of charge and all the accessories that come with us. And not only did they ask us to review it to see what our thoughts was, they also asked us to test it, to put it to its max, to see if it's going to hold up to, say, some other main brand or higher end camera systems. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take this camera down to its maximum depth. We're going to see if it holds up. And then we're also going to be comparing the footage of this camera to, say, another main brand camera. But with that being said, let's jump into today's video, open up the box, and see what all comes in the Ice Fox UHD 4K action camera. Alright, getting this camera box here open up. Just got a little tab here on the bottom. And of course, they show all over the box all these different scenes. This is a basic action camera, if you will, meaning you can use it for more than just scuba diving. Obviously, you can use it skiing or surfing, you know, riding an ATV, whatever you want to use it for. One thing I will tell you, there is a little QR code here on the side of the box. We will be using this here very soon because I'm going to show you how you can use this QR code to download the app that comes along with this camera as well. Well, let's go ahead and get it open up, see what all comes in the box. Of course, you're going to have a little Velcro strap here. I assume this is a little wrist strap or something of that sort. You are going to have an active warranty card as well. It looks like it's got a 1-year free extension with an activation code. It's pretty cool there. We do have just looks like a little shipping label here. This is going to be the user manual here. If we open it up really quick, we can see that it is in English. So that's a pro there. A lot of times these Amazon cameras, they don't actually come in English, but this one does. Looks like we got a battery charger. So this is a 2-bay battery charger there. We also have 2 batteries. Now we'll be putting this in the camera very soon and seeing if they come pre-charged or if we need to charge them. Then we're going to have the camera and the housing itself. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside because we're going to be looking at it more in depth. We also got a little, what appears to be the accessory box here. So the accessory box, my understanding, has a ton of different accessories and mounts and things like that. Looks like we've got a little external remote here. So I'm going to say this external remote is going to be for that Velcro strap that we looked at. So you can actually strap this on your wrist in case you're wanting to do action shots for yourself. We've got several other different types of attachments here. So it looks like we got some other Velcro straps here and just regular old webbing straps here as well. Looks like we've got another external housing or plate here. Now the plate that comes, or this back part that comes on the housing, this is their dive housing here. This one actually has holes in it, so I guess this would be for better audio quality if you wanted to leave it in the protective housing, which obviously if you're using it for an action camera I probably would as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool that you got a separate housing plate there. Looks like we got a charging cable here. Just getting it open, let's see. This one is, yep, so this is a USB-C to a USB. So that's pretty cool that they're using a C charger there. I'm sure you could use your cell phone charger as well. And then we're getting into some of the mounts here. This looks like some type of clip mount there. Not quite sure how that's going to work with this housing, but we'll see. We'll go ahead and just pour all these out. All right, so here is a tripod mount. So get this guy open. We have a tripod mount here that it looks like the camera itself just snaps into. It doesn't appear to work with the housing, just the camera itself. So we got that mount. Here is an adhesive mount. So you can stick this on whatever you want to stick it on, and it looks like it's the standard just slide in clip mount system. Yep, so that just slides in there and you push on the back side to get it back out. So that's pretty cool. Looks like we got some zip ties, some more adhesive mount there, and of course we've got a cable system. So if you wanted to strap it to something there, you could. That way you didn't lose your camera. And here is another adhesive mount. We actually got two of those there. So if you wanted to mount these in different locations, and then you just snap the camera on and off. Here are some bar mounts. So there's a bar mount. It does have a rubber insert there, so that's pretty cool that it's not going to slide around once you have it on there. So I do like that. And then here we have a raised mount. So if you needed the camera raised up a little bit versus the one that's on it now, so that's pretty cool. And then it looks like we have some change of directions here. Okay, so there's one change of direction. We've got another change of direction here. And then we have what appears to be an extender. Okay. Now one thing I do like about these is they all also come with extra screws, so that's pretty cool as well. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of extra screws. And then it also looks like we have two different mounts here. This one goes from a tripod stand to a GoPro style mount. This one goes from what would be a standard 1/4 inch mount there as well. So yeah, ton of different accessories here. We're going to really quickly compare these to say a standard name brand, see how the plastic kind of holds up on it as well. But there's the charger port for this. I am going to go ahead and put these batteries on charge even if they're full. I want to see what the charger looks like as well. So we got a little indicator there telling us which way to go. Perfect. And open this up here. And just standard C. I'm gonna go plug this up to the computer, see what it looks like, see if they're pre-charged. If not, we're gonna go ahead and get these on charge. And I'm gonna go ahead and get a couple of different mounts too as well to compare to say a name brand over to the Ice Fox camera system. Alright guys, before we go into an in-depth review of the camera system and the components and all that, there are several components I want to compare really quick with a name brand camera system. I've got several components here from the GoPro line, and of course these components here are from the Ice Fox line. And I want to do a quick comparison of what they are, and I want to show you a little bit of a quality difference between them. What I have here are two base mounts, if you will. These are what's called a J-hook mount system, and they do look very similar in shape, design. They both have the standard GoPro mount up top here, so if you was using some type of GoPro accessory, you know, obviously it will fit the same housing unit or whatnot. Same little plug system there. or screw system, if you will. I've also got two of the tripod mounts. This has the 1/4-inch brass insert at the bottom, so you can just literally screw this to a tripod system of your choice, and then of course you can mount your camera system there. And then I also have two clamp devices here. This one here is from GoPro, obviously, and then I've got the one from Ice Fox. I want to do a quick comparison because I'll show you some compatibility issues that we discovered when we were testing this camera out here. First of all, starting with the mount system from Ice Fox here. This is a base plate mount. It does have a brass insert here on the bottom, so you can screw this down if you need to, or you can just use the adhesive. The J-hook system from Ice Fox very easily just snaps into position. You can hear the good solid snap. It's nice and sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere, and you have the benefit that it's got these slots here in the side where you can add some type of strap system. So if you want to turn it into a wrist system, you can do that very easily. But I want to test the compatibility, if you will, of say a GoPro mount system as well, just to see if it'll work. And one of my concerns here, if we look close at this one, the bottom part that we insert first seems to be a little bit skinnier, if you will. It's not as tall as what this upper section right here is, and this upper section is also tapered. So my fear is if we try to check compatibility to see if the GoPro J-hook will fit into this base mount from Ice Fox, I don't think it's going to quite fit. And as I go to stick it in, I can already tell that there is a ton of resistance there. And it did go in partially, but I can't get it to snap all the way in because of the way those tabs are tapered on the GoPro mount there. And just to be honest with you, there is way too much tension on this. I just don't think it's going to be good. It's not going to be a good compatible mount. However, can we use the Ice Fox J-hook on, say, the base mount, say, from a GoPro system? And we're going to test this both directions to make sure it snaps in. So I've just got the foam handle here. This is what I use for my camera system. Let's see if the Ice Fox mount will snap in. And very easily it snaps in. It's very sturdy. I can shake it. I don't hear any rattle whatsoever. Let's test it from the other direction just to make sure that it fits that direction too, and very easily it mounts. It's sturdy, it's not going anywhere, and it does appear to be the same type of plastic. I could be wrong there, but it does seem to be the same type of plastic. It just seems that the mold on the GoPro unfortunately is not going to be compatible for the base plate from Ice Fox, although the adapter here from Ice Fox is going to be compatible with the base plate, say, from GoPro. Alright guys, so we did test out some of the other accessories that come with the Ice Fox cameras just to check compatibility, and it was kind of the same scenario. Everything from Ice Fox was compatible with GoPro, but not everything from GoPro was compatible with Ice Fox. But we're actually ready to take this camera underwater, and we're going to be taking this thing beyond its limitations. But let me show you really quick what I've got set up, just so that you can get a better idea of how we're testing this. This is just my little handle here from GoPro as well. I've got several change of directions here, and I've got the bar mount from Ice Fox just clamped onto my GoPro handle there. And then of course I've got the Ice Fox 4K camera. And then of course I got my GoPro Hero 12. We're going to be doing a direct comparison between the two. And then I've just got a little underwater light here. But all of the mounts, with the exception of the handle and the little crossover bar here, is straight from Ice Fox. This crossover bar is a third party, and of course the handle is from GoPro, but everything else, as you can see, is going to be compatible once again from Ice Fox to GoPro, not necessarily from GoPro to Ice Fox. So just something I want you guys to take note, that when you purchase stuff like this and you upgrade in the future, sometimes parts will work, sometimes parts won't. But that being said, let's take this thing down to Lake Jocassee, and it is rated for 100 feet, but I think we're going to go a little bit deeper than that and just see what its limitations are and see if it actually holds up to what your name brand cameras would. Alright guys, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the dive here. We are down at Lake Jocassee in South Carolina, and the top footage that you see here is from the GoPro 12 or the Hero 12. The bottom footage is from the Ice Fox, and one of the things that I'm noticing right off the bat is that the GoPro has a much wider lens, if you will, or wider frame of view here, but with them both set at 4K, I got to be honest, the Ice Fox is doing a little bit better job. I believe it's a little bit more crisper, if you will. you know, would I be upset with either one? No, but the Ice Fox is going to kind of take it here. Of course, if you're wanting that wider field of vision, the GoPro is going to have the top there. But yeah, Ice Fox is much more crisp. Let's see what it does underwater. Now we're down to about 70 feet here, and once again we can kind of see that the Ice Fox is zoomed in a little bit. Now I'm not messing with the zoom features or anything on either camera. This is just straight settings here, and it looks like the Ice Fox is zoomed in a little bit more than what the GoPro is. The GoPro, of course, has that wider field of vision. But at this depth, I can't really tell a difference in, say, crispness of the video itself, other than the colors a little bit. You'll tell where the blue of the picture frame was sticking out a little bit better on the Ice Fox as well. Of course, we're at around 100 feet here. We're actually going to take this camera a little bit deeper than what it's rated for, but we're going to see how it holds up. There you can see I'm down at 100 feet with it, and as I showed when we were still on land, I'll show you the actual setup here in just a second of how we've got these cameras set up and how we're doing a good comparison of them. But as we descend on down, we're going to take it on down to recreational limits, which is 130 feet. And then if the camera is still up and going, I think we will run it on down to, say, 150 feet and see if the camera holds up 50 feet past, or if more importantly, see if the housing holds up 50 feet past what it's actually rated for. So here you can see we're at 129 feet. We should be clicking over to 130. There's recreational limits. Camera's still operating. The housing has not failed. Now, one thing I will note about this particular camera, the Ice Fox is not waterproof. It's just the housing to where the GoPro is. But even the GoPro is only waterproof to down to like 20 some feet. So, but here we're heading on down, and I believe we should be around 140 feet here, and then of course we should get down to 150. And as you can tell, my GoPro, of course the battery died on it, but GoPro's already off. The Ice Fox is still kicking, and this is straight from the Ice Fox as well. This is a recording of it, and of course we are at 150 feet. So we have went 50 feet deeper than what the camera is rated for, well outside of recreational limits, and good, clear, crisp video. Alright guys, I've had the camera for more than a month. I've done more than a dozen dives with it, and I want to talk about the pros and cons to it really quick, because I want to give you guys a 100% honest review of the system. First and foremost, the pros. What was the thing that impressed me the most is the depth rating. Yes, it was only rated to 100 feet. However, we took it to 150 feet, and the camera performed flawlessly. The housing didn't crack, it didn't leak, and the camera itself did not freeze up at that depth. It absolutely blew my mind how well the camera worked. Another thing that I really liked about it, of course, is the buttons. They're very intuitive. They're easy to go through the menu settings on it, and they're very intuitive underwater too. They're very easy to hit, even if you got thicker gloves on in colder environments. Although I rarely use all the different features to a camera when underwater, all that I really care about is turning it on and off and hitting that shutter to start and stop videos. If I want to zoom and stuff, I'll just push the camera in, pull the camera back. I don't really need that, but those buttons did make it easy. If I needed to change settings on the fly, I could very easily scroll through it while underwater and do that. And then of course the last thing that I really truly liked about the camera is it was super cheap. And now I'm not going to give you a price yet. I'm going to hold that for the end, because I want you guys to understand everything about the camera goes into the value of what you're getting price-wise. So all the different accessories that came with it for the price point that this camera's at is super impressive, and you get a ton of different accessories. With other name brand cameras, you're going to spend several $100s just to get some of the accessories that already comes with this camera. And the fact that they're cross compatibility. As we stated earlier, we took the accessories from this unit, from this Ice Fox camera, and was able to use it on other brands' accessories and handles and things like that. And those brands, those accessories were not cross compatible. So the fact that you get all that for the price point that this camera comes at, and it works with other brands, is absolutely phenomenal. Now, what are some of the things that I didn't like about it? There's really three major things that I didn't like about this camera. Let's talk about the first one here. The housing, although I was impressed with the way the housing held up at depth, I don't like the clamp mechanism that holds the housing shut. It doesn't take much for this thing just to pop open, and if you're underwater and was to accidentally hit this thing, it could pop open the housing, flood the housing, and with the camera itself not being waterproof, obviously it's going to destroy the camera almost instantly. So I don't like this, and it's fairly cheap made. It's just a little spring clamp here. It's got a little metal plate that just got 2 little screws that hold it to the little clamp itself, and this is really, really cheap plastic. I'm not gonna lie, it does feel like I'm gonna break this thing every time I open and close it, so it does scare me a little bit. So I'm not a fan of that. I do wish it was a little bit more secure, if you will. I wish it had a locking device on it, but I'm just not impressed with that. The second thing that I'm not really impressed with is the camera itself gets extremely hot in the housing. Now, I did not experience this when I was underwater because obviously that water was conducting the heat away from it, but here on land when I was doing some testing with it, the camera got really, really hot, which is to be expected with a lot of cameras that go inside the housing. Now, obviously you can say, well, you can take the camera out and use it outside the housing. There's a little 1/4-inch screw here on the bottom, or a little insert, so you can put it on a tripod or some type of holder or something of that sort. And yes, I agree with you completely. However, if you notice on the side of the camera here, where you put your SD card and where you charge the camera, it is not sealed off, so you can get dirt and debris in there. And if I'm using this as an action camera, I would rather actually have it in the housing, which leads me back to it gets extremely hot in the housing. So if you're going to do this on land, use it on land as an action camera, I would take this back door off and I would put the other one that came with it, because it's got these slots in it to help dissipate that heat. Plus it's going to give you better audio quality by having those doors open as well. And then of course, the last thing that I really didn't like about this camera is the screen. Now, when I turn this camera on, I'm going to flip it around for you and I'm going to show you really quick. The back screen will come on. However, what you will notice is the front screen itself does not come on. So there's the back screen of it. And you'll notice that the front screen does not come on. All right, to get that front screen on, what you've got to do is go up here and hold this menu button, the top right button. You're going to press and hold till the screen goes off, and then of course the front screen will come on. So both screens do not work at the same time. I would actually prefer that they did, although I know that would run the battery down. I like having both screens on at the same time. Now, when I go to turn this off, I'm once again going to hit the menu button here, just press and hold. You'll see that front screen goes off, and then the back screen will automatically pop right back on. So that was kind of the third thing that I did not really like about the camera itself. Other than that, I was very, very impressed with it. Now, there's one more thing that I want to talk about with this very specific camera. Now, I talked to the company on this, and this is something that they really wanted to promote. This is something that they really wanted to put out there for you guys, and that's their app system. This does come with its own app system. It's called the Snap Pro. You can scan a QR code or just go straight to your app store and download it. It's actually a very intuitive system. It's easy to scroll through. You can get your footage almost instantaneously. As soon as you come out of the water, connect your phone to your camera or to your iPhone or your Android, and boom, there's all your footage. You can download the footage, you can play back your footage, you can change settings, you can do everything from the app except for what they actually said you could do. Now, this could be just something with my particular iPhone, but I was unable to get the edit function to work on this particular app. And this is something that Ice Fox told me that they were very proud of. They wanted to see on camera how the editing worked. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't get it to work. I deleted the app, I re-downloaded the app, I deleted the app again and re-downloaded it, and I still could not get the edit feature to work on the app the way Ice Fox said it would. Now, is that a deal breaker for me? Absolutely not, because as you guys can see, I actually edit all my own videos on a separate system, video editor system, so that wasn't really a deal breaker for me. However, if the company's going to promote that it works and I can't get it to work, that's kind of a downside there. So that's really that fourth and final thing that I didn't like about the camera. All right, guys, let's talk about price really quick. At the time that we received this camera, it was going for $59 on Amazon. Now, it has went up within the last month. Now it's $69, but that is a very, very small budgeted price for the value of what you're actually getting. For an action camera that is 4K, that comes with a waterproof housing, that also comes with all the different accessories that are compatible with other brands as well, it's kind of a no-brainer. Now, would I actually replace my GoPros and my Sea Life cameras and any of my underwater cameras? No, I'm not going to be replacing them. But if I was in the market for a cheaper, lower budget camera that has the same quality of video that I can get from a more expensive, and I needed a lower budget, by all means, I would pick up several of these. You can purchase 4 or 5 of these for the cost of one of the other cameras. And to be honest, if you damage it, the little SD card is not going to get damaged. You can obviously swap it between cameras. And to be honest, I might pick up a couple of extra one of these because they're going to be great. Now, one additional feature I want to talk about really quick is this has a in-car mode, which means this is not just an action camera that you put in a housing. You can actually use this as a car camera or a dash cam as well. And it has a dash cam feature built into the camera that's going to loop that video as you're driving down the road. So it's a really cool feature, a very budget feature or a low budget feature that's going to work at depth, and it's going to work here on land. Now it does have a couple little things that I didn't like, such as the housing clamp and things like that, but for the price that you're going to be paying for this particular camera and the value of what you get out of it, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer, and it's definitely something that you should check out. As a matter of fact, check out the link down below. We are not affiliates. We do not make a cent off of this, but this is a product that I do think is going to be a good budget buy for you if you're in the market for a brand new camera and you are on a limited budget. Ice Fox is definitely something that you're not going to beat. But guys, that's my final review of the Ice Fox UHD 4K camera. If you like this review, give me a big thumbs up. Definitely share it. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. And if you do have this model and you were able to get the edit feature to work on the app, let me know what you did to get it to work, because it could have just been my iPhone not letting that app do it the way it should have, but I simply could not get it to work. So let me know if you were able to. But guys, once again, if you liked the video, big thumbs up, definitely share it. Questions, comments, concerns, go down below and we will discuss. But until our next video, take care, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.